Seltzer Time.
First salts of the day. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Seltzer Time podcast. It's your boy Ricky, aka Dick Chuck, aka the man behind the can at Seltzer Time official. Here is ours with my conversation accomplice, the man with the hunch about Worcester, Travis.
What is spicy?
I mean, you know, spicing it up, man.
Like a ripped open seltzer. What is cracking, Fizzle Fiends? Welcome back to another episode of the Seltzer Time podcast. And per usual, we are ecstatic that you've joined us. This week on the show, we are talking to Nick from Bucks Worcester. But before we get there, y'all know what we have to do. Hey, Ricky, nice hoodie.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah, that's right. We done switched it up and put them on hoodies, and they're going to be on some other stuff too.
Yeah, pretty stoked. We Travis is a genius designer, as you can tell. Excuse me. And we have a whole bunch of new merch. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah. So we figured out some ways. We're using print on demand. I don't mind telling you guys. So I found it through TikTok. I've talked about it here on the podcast before, and y'all know that's how I'm running hustle and work. It seems to just make sense for Seltzer Time. And now the prints are coming out fantastic. People can order size specifically to them. It's always been our problem is that we can't keep sizes in stock. So this way, all of our fans can get the size that fits them best. And that's what we want. We just want you to make you look good.
Yeah. And we can have more designs out in different products. I think, and again, I never really thought about, I guess I knew about this through like working in music and stuff like that, but I feel like the average consumer doesn't understand how much upfront money you need for merch. And then outside of money, space for those types of things. And this is not our full-time job. We have actual jobs and other things going on. So yeah, this works out really well where we can have we can do some funny merch. We can do some very serious merch. We can do super dope Worcester Hollywood sign, which is going to take over the entire world this year. But yeah, we got all kinds of stuff, baby. Different colors of classic tees.
Yeah. So it provides this opportunity to then take some of the money, some of your support, and invest it right back into this show. Like we want to get. So that's the whole point. With your support, we can get Ricky a computer and get him a nice, we have the microphone. We just can't use it in our current setup. And eventually we are going to get back to being in the same room, but it's probably not going to be for a little while. So thank you very much for everybody that supported us so far. We love having threads that you guys want to wear, and there's more coming. So check it out, seltzertime.com.
Yeah. And the more you buy, the closer to a laptop I will get.
That's a true story. So what else happened for you this week, my man?
All right. I don't know. What did I do this week? That's
why I'm asking you.
Solid question. I have to ask myself. I don't know. This week was good. We're one step closer to warm weather. I'm very excited about that. I went for a walk yesterday, even though it was cold, but it was nice out.
It was, in the sun, it was warm enough.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure we'll go for a walk today too. I'm pretty excited. It's supposed to be way nicer today. I haven't been outside yet, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just pumped about that. Baseball season. The Bruin maybe is in the backdrop over here.
TikTok star maybe.
TikTok famous cat maybe up in the house, and she bored in the house and she's in the house bored. So yeah, I don't know. It's been a weird week because people are starting to post the 1 year ago was the last time I did this, and I'm like, fuck, man, same, but also it's just kind of wild to realize that we're a year into this and half of the people that I know on Facebook are still I don't get it. Why are you wearing a mask? Well,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Some states are like, y'all don't have to do it. It's up to your person. Yeah, fuck all.
Yeah, Texas is like, we're not making the year mark. Fuck that. We're done now. she's just really excited to be on. She's getting so used to being on TikTok that she is now. I don't exist anymore.
So maybe, what is your plans for your posts this week? Oh, kitty butt.
She's like, I don't know, like whatever my mom takes the videos. I'm just gonna walk around and sit on. She's been sitting on top of the pellet stove. And she's totally safe. Like it's not scalding, right, obviously, but it is warm, and that's why she likes it.
Of course.
So we'll be like watching TV, and she'll jump up there and just lay. And they always like, get down, like don't want you to get hurt. And then she'll like look at her, and then she'll like flop down and like look wicked cute. And it's almost like she's like taunting Naomi the entire time. Like, oh, you want me to leave? I don't effing think so. It's pretty cute.
That sounds adorable.
Yeah, it's it's a pretty cute household over here. Just a bunch of cute shit happening all the time. How was your week?
It's pretty good, man. We had sort of late show this past week. That was pretty good. Yeah, we're doing the Twitch streaming stuff. The Whitney Andy guys and I, Brian and Sean, and Doug Gurton. It's been fun. It's been a fun thing to kind of get through the past year of being stuck in this house, but still wanting to do fun things. And with that, they can't do the roast of the city like they normally do on St. Patty's Day. So Sean and Brian have taken it upon themselves to carry the tradition on digitally. And we're going to have a roast that comes out in a couple days. Join us on St. Patty's Day to join Jimmy Cash, Doug Arbiter, Che Anderson, and of course, Jenny Pasillo, who is going to, oh my God, she is going to destroy like Stone Cold and 2 cans of Budweiser.
Jenny's not like the Queen of England, though. Like, in case anybody watched the Meg Markle and Harry interview with Oprah last night, the Queen seems like she's, they're protecting the Queen. I get it. But also, Jenny's like the cool Queen, not the weird
kind of racist
issue. I mean, racist is the term, yeah.
I didn't watch the interview. Was it good?
Oh, dude, it was so interesting. It was so like the Queen, the whole royal family is like, the royal family's gross. There's this weird, like, oh my God, they're so amazing. And like people in America are obsessed with every move they make. It's fake. Like it's all insanity.
Yes.
And yeah, Meghan Markle isn't about that life because she's a badass and she's amazing. So she went on record and basically just told it how it was. It was very, very impressive. But yeah, there was some people in the family who had made comments about, like, what color is the baby going to be? It's an issue if the baby's too dark, like that type of stuff. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's not surprising one bit. Like it's, old white money is racist. Yeah. We know this. Like, this is not a secret. But it was still pretty shocking to hear. Mostly not shocking to hear because it's true. Shocking that somebody finally stepped up and was like, yo, fuck this shit. I'm not a Harry fan. I think Harry's a tool, but he is. But he did the right thing by sticking by his wife and doing everything he could to protect her and his family. I think that is something that he definitely deserves credit for. But yeah, it's very interesting. And also real quick, everybody was like, oh my God, they got paid. It cost $7 or $8 million for this interview. It did. None of that money went to Meghan or Harry. That's what it costs for Oprah's production company. So chill. It's like a whole thing. People were losing their minds, like they were making money off of this. And it's like, well, no. I mean, if they did, hell yeah. Like, why not? But also, like, the money that was the $8 million was a production cost thing, which is a lot of money.
That's a lot of fucking money for an interview.
Yes.
All right. Well, we are going to do some research and find out why the hell that was so expensive. You guys should enjoy this interview with Nick from Bucks Worcester.
Yeah.
What is crackin' Fizzle Fiends? This week on the show, we are talking to Nick Pannarelli, owner of Bucks Whiskey and Burger Bar here in Worcester. Nick, thank you for joining us on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
first and foremost, I love the dedication to your craft. And you went down there on a Monday morning to make sure you set up at the bar. The background looks wonderful. With these Zooms, you could never really tell if it's just like a digital background, but that's legit. I'm sure you can grab one of those bottles if you really needed to.
Oh yeah.
I think since COVID started, yeah, I think since COVID started, you're the first person who we've interviewed actually in their establishment. Everybody else has just been at home. So this is kind of exciting.
Yeah. Something different, try to bring back some sort of normalcy.
There you go.
Isn't that the truth? Well, how's it been, man? Like, you're basically getting back up and running, and I know you guys are doing the weekend things. How's it been? How's the thing at the bar?
It's definitely been good. We're definitely, it's been a long road, a long process of trying to get, back to what we have been before. But I think that, each week has been better. Particularly this month, I've been seeing a lot of customers that I haven't seen since the start of the pandemic. So that's, obviously a great sign to be able to get, people coming back feeling more comfortable about being out, and, just either that or they're just getting sick of, all of the pandemic, and they just like, they've had enough of it. It's time for us to go out.
Did you guys, so are you guys seeing more people? You're saying you're seeing more people coming back. How's like the takeout vibe been going? Has it been busy?
The takeout's been phenomenal. Like before the pandemic, like we were never really a takeout place. Everybody came in here and ate.
Yeah.
And they, once we had to make the adjustment, we ended up doing very well with the takeout. And now it's become part of a staple of, what we have with the dine-in and everything. So people are, still ordering. There's still people that, aren't 100% comfortable with coming out yet, but at least they're still eating. They're still ordering somehow, whether it's, food or they're getting beer to go or cocktails to go, whatever. It's definitely nice to see that, that increase of kind of a void that we had, because we never really did much takeout. Now it's averaging at least 10 to 12 takeout orders a night, as opposed
That's
to
awesome.
5 a week. So, well, it's definitely a change. Definitely a change. But
that's awesome. Do you think, okay, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen anything about this at all, but do you think they're going to keep the beer and cocktails to go, at least for like the time being, or do you think that's not going to get squashed?
I think that they're going to keep it. I mean, it really makes a lot of sense. I mean, why haven't we been doing this forever? I mean, you could always order wine to go. How is that different than a beer?
Yeah.
I mean, order a beer to go. I mean, most beer today is in cans and stuff like that. So it's definitely a lot easier to transport. It's not like you're just grabbing a pint glass and just throwing a top of it see you later.
Sippy cup.
But
yeah.
I think that, I think that the restaurants push for that just to be a continuum. Like, I think that would be great.
That's a local thing, right? That's Massachusetts based. That's not everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Like in New York, you can get a beer to go already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just
I know
makes
down
sense.
in the first time I ever went to Florida, I'm pretty sure we could get beers to go in Florida, and my mind was blown. I didn't even know that was an option anywhere. And it was just like, wait, what? We can do this? This is fucking great. Like, and then of course it's been years since I've been there. And then when they started doing this last, I forget when beer to go started, but I was super excited about it. It was great.
Yeah. I think it definitely helped out a lot of places, because, that's really where your profit margin is, especially bars and restaurants. It's like everything here, this is what, makes you the money, and everything else is just kind of gravy for it. But it's, I think that it would be essential for us to continue this on. I mean, why not?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. So I got to know, how did you get into owning a restaurant? Like, is that something you always wanted to do, or you just kind of just happened?
So my grandparents really started us off in the restaurant world. We had a catering company and the original Italian kitchen on Shrewsbury Street. And from there, obviously, my father got into it, my parents got into it, and they were just, they just kind of fell into the tradition. And then my father branched out to pizzerias, delis, the Lakeside Bar and Grill in Shrewsbury was his.
Oh, cool.
And, continuing on with the catering as well, since we've already been established for 20 or 30 years. And then he took over and kind of continued on with that. And then I just grew up in the restaurant world, and it was just always swore that I wasn't going to do a restaurant. Wasn't gonna do that. No, that's been there, done that, got a t-shirt, it was great. But yeah, here I am. So
you just stick with what you know at a certain degree, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, it's in my blood. I mean, we've been doing restaurants in Worcester and Shrewsbury for about 60 years now.
Damn.
So, I mean, it's just a constant thing that we know, and we're known for it. So why not do it?
Yeah. I mean, you're clearly good at it.
And it was funny when I was opening, the whole family was like, okay, what are you doing? Do you need the eggplant rollatini recipe? Do you need this? Do you need that? And I'm like, no, we're not going to do Italian. They all looked at me like I was nuts. And I'm like, well, I mean, it's not like we haven't had Italian restaurants before, and we do very well with it, but there are other foods other than Italian. So I kind of looked at the idea, okay, let's take the most simple classics and let's not have a big menu. Let's make them amazing. Like, have the best mac and cheese, have the best burgers. Like, let's really, really push to pinpoint those few items, but make them really good instead of having, I mean, I'm sure you guys, when you go out to some places and you got the menu that it looks like it's on Schitt's Creek, 5 pages of just everything you could possibly think of. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, how can it statistically all be good?
Oh, it can't be.
And I wanted to bring back the simplicity, introduce people, reintroduce people to their classic favorites. I mean, who doesn't love a burger? Fish and chips. I know you love
Dude,
it.
That fish and chip. So as soon as we lined up this whole having you on the podcast, all I've thought about is the fish and chips. So you will see me at some point this week getting them because I love them. My girlfriend was not around this weekend, and the only reason why I didn't get the fish and chips is because she's obsessed with the rattlesnake mac and cheese. She gets it with no bacon, but she probably would have killed me if I went to Bucks and got food while she was gone. So,
oh yeah, you would have definitely been in trouble for that.
Yeah. So this week we will be in because she needs the mac and cheese and I need those fish and chips. They're so good.
But to that point, there's something just beautifully simple about those classic meals, those classic American pub food meals. And to your credit, I think you're right to do those pub food super, super well. Do it with a sense of flair, do it with a sense of passion, and you're going to pair it with something that's delicious. That's, from behind you, poured directly for this pairing. That to me is a great user experience. I can see why people get into it.
Yeah.
Are you finding a lot of regulars in the scene, even probably before pandemic, have you found that you're really making an impact in the community? You must have people that are regulars and
oh yeah. I mean, it's getting funny. I've growing up, I've always thought of a regular as somebody that would come in once every couple of weeks or even once a week, and my definition of a regular now, I mean, I have people that come in two or three times a week, and it's just they
That's
found
awesome.
What they like, and they bring new people in, and we're only open 4 days a week, and I get to see them for half of it. But
that's awesome.
But it's good though. It really caught on. I mean, it just back to basics, simplicity, giving people something that they didn't know they had. I mean, my biggest thing was obviously I'm a big whiskey guy, so as you can see, and I wanted to introduce people to things other than Jack Daniel's, Johnny Walker Black, and Jameson. We carry those, but they're not on the shelves. You won't see Jack Daniel's ever on the shelf. I'd rather show more of the Japanese whiskeys and,
Cool.
different Irish whiskeys that aren't Jameson, which is great. And then, compounding that with the craft beer and everything. When I opened up, it was like, obviously I always admired Alec for everything he did for the craft beer community in Worcester. I mean, between the Armsby and the dive bar, it was just unbelievable. So like how he went about it and stuff. And, obviously he has the biggest names are under him, which is amazing. But, I wanted to take a step beyond that and highlight a lot of these smaller local places that a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah.
For instance, when Seven Saws opened out in Holden, nobody knew.
I was going to say, the only reason I even knew about Seven Saws was because of you. I would see you posting about it. And then I know those guys, I met a bunch of them at the dive. They might have even come in with you.
Yeah. We shut down the bar at Bucks, and then they all showed up and they're like, well, let's go out. So I said, well, no better place to go than the dive bar. We walked down there, and I think they started an arm wrestling competition between all the customers in the back. I remember.
Really?
We were up back. And that was a very late night. We ended up coming back here till I don't even know what time, but a lot of whiskey that night.
There you go. That's awesome.
Going out, finding these places, and just trying to help them get their word out, because a lot of them, the small places, they really can't distribute. They don't have enough, they either don't have the ability and the size for it, or they just don't know how to get out into that marketing point. And when I saw Seven Saws, I was really blown away by them. And that really enticed me to say, okay, well, let's start focusing on these breweries that aren't around here. Take True North, for example. They were in 300 locations east of Boston. I was the only person to bring them out here. And now it's funny because everywhere you go, you see True North, Northern Haze. That was the first thing I brought over from them. Now I think they have, now west of Boston, I think they have 75 accounts.
Oh, wow.
They just blew up. And they were already established. They were already there. They put out a great product, obviously.
Yeah.
That's why it's so good. But they reached out to me when they saw what I was doing. And same thing with White Lime. They were only in Springfield and west of Springfield, posted in New York. Nobody out here knew who they were. Ray, the owner, reached out to me and was like, hey, see what you did with a bunch of the other places. I'd love to come on board. Now White Lion always has one tap, and I think we have 5 cans in the cooler from them, just because all their stuff is phenomenal too.
That's awesome.
Be able to highlight that, so that way when the customers come in here, they say, "Oh, okay, let's go to the tap room, go and actually experience what I got to experience when I first went."
Yeah.
So that's kind of been the game with the craft world, and just bringing in new places. I mean, I think there are 4 new breweries that just came on. They just dropped off their stuff yesterday, and they're all downstairs, and that will be all next week of introducing, I think 2 weeks notice. Sterling Street's already been out there. They keep coming up with more stuff, and they've been awesome.
I've never tried their stuff, but I see them, other people I know and follow throughout the beer world keep posting about them all the time. I got to check them out.
They reminded me a lot of Seven Saws. The way that they kind of came up in their professionalism. I mean, even their artwork. Let me grab a can real quick.
I love talking beer this early in the morning. It's my favorite thing.
But I mean, here's what grabbed me. We see just a cool hop head, incorporating with the city and everything. This, by the way, Clarence, their double IPA, choice.
All right.
Very good. We've, I think I bought 3 cases last time I went there, and I'm down to this can and one other one after not even 2 weeks. Well,
wow,
days realistically.
That's incredible.
And I like being able to, to highlight these places and help them get off the ground. Now people are coming in and they're saying, oh, what's Sterling Street? Go down there, check them out. And now they're getting all regulars that say, oh yeah, well, we heard about you from Bucks. We tried you at Bucks, and now we want to come down and support local.
Yeah. Dude, that's so awesome.
Yeah. I enjoy it, and it's fun. I mean, that's my nights off. I have to go to breweries for work. But,
oh no.
I mean, hey, I can justify it, right?
Right. There you go. Dude, that's awesome. I mean, between you guys having like an amazing whiskey selection and then all the beer and everything, your staff is, I mean, I haven't actually sat in a restaurant in like almost a year, I think, outside of one place. But your staff is literally the nicest crew ever. It's awesome. And the like one of the biggest things I noticed is, I mean, yeah, you guys all came to the dive, which was fucking amazing. But even going out to other places in the city, like going over to the Pine or going to any of the breweries, there's always somebody with a Buck shirt that works there. And like your team is like so proud to rock that logo. And that's such a huge thing, because you don't see that like almost at all in the restaurant world around here.
No. And that's like, that's one thing I wanted to look at. Like, I don't look at what, other people are doing. I want to do something different. Like, I want it to stand out. That's why, I've never spent $1 on advertising. I, buy the t-shirts and I give them away. I give out more clothing than we sell. And it's funny because I always get a Snapchat, a phone call, a text, a picture, whatever. Somebody will be down at Hampton Beach. Somebody's walking around with a Buck shirt on.
Yeah.
Like, somebody goes somewhere else, and the best one I had was out in Colorado. My cousins live out there, and they had, they were going to some new place, and they saw somebody with a Bucks hoodie on. So obviously my cousin goes up like, hey, how did you get that? They go, oh, we visited friends in, Massachusetts. We went to this wicked cool spa. It's like, and they started raving about it. My cousin sitting there like, well, my cousin owns it, but that's pretty cool. Like, it's just out of the blue. Like, I never met the people before, and it was just like, they called me afterwards and told me, and I was just like, that's awesome. Like, it's getting there. Like, it's standing.
Yeah. Dude, that's so sick. I love hearing really stuff cool. Like that.
Yeah, it's definitely it's rewarding for me to, hear that people enjoy the place, and it's, being here every day, especially during the pandemic and stuff, like, it's definitely been very draining,
Yeah, I can imagine.
Not just myself, but every restaurant employee, in the world. It's just like, to hear positive things coming from people, it just makes us want to keep going. Work harder, get more stuff in here, and just continue to wow people, because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And, not just food and drink, but a good experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's hospitality at its finest.
Yeah.
And you guys have been giving back, I mean, through this whole thing too. Haven't you guys been preparing food for first responders and guys that need it, people on the front line?
Yeah, that I came up with right when we were shutting down. I was like, oh shit, now what do? We just hit our full stride, coming up on 2 years, and it was better than I had anticipated to year 3. And once we were forced to shut down, I'm like, shit, because now I'm not even 2 years old yet, because it was March 16th and our anniversary date is April 30th. So I'm
wow.
Only a year and 10, 11 months. That's very easy for a restaurant to be forgotten.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I got really nervous. I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? So I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, what better way to, stay in the community's mind, and other than actually helping out the community. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, so who's hurting the most? Obviously, biased because I'm a restaurant owner. We're all, not ecstatic about this, but I'm sitting here like, okay, what about all the nurses and the doctors that are dealing with something that we have no clue what we're really doing at that point in time? And, they're there busting their ass to keep us all safe. I said, you know what, maybe it would be a good thing to, do something, even just something as simple and small as a dinner, just a, hey, somebody's thinking about you, type idea. And I pitched it to my food distributor, And they're like, well, this is a great idea. Like, how can we help? So I'm like, well, why don't we do one night we actually did it on our anniversary. We donated 500 meals to all of the Worcester hospitals. So
So sick.
Came in, I think we got here at like 7 o'clock in the morning. We didn't finish until like 10 o'clock at night because we wanted to hit all three of the shifts. And it was really incredible. It was hectic as hell because trying to put 500 individual meals together. So it's not like we're just doing catering and like, here's the big trays. Now we have to package each meal. And I was like, okay, this is going to be a lot of fun. And it was a lot of work, but my staff was just absolutely incredible with helping out and doing everything and actually making it a reality. And then once we did it, I was like, this is awesome. Then my phone started ringing. I'm getting calls from people. I have no idea who they are. I've never met them. I had people not even from this state. Like they had seen like an article on Mass Live that we had done the donation, and people were calling saying, okay, well, we want to help. Here's my credit card. Like, can I sponsor, 50 meals to wherever? Either they would choose a place or I would. And I was like, okay, well, let's start getting this rolling. And before I knew it, we were already at, I think it was like 1,300 meals between hospitals, rehab centers, nursing homes, fire departments, police departments, EMTs, the ambulance services. And then it just started, like I noticed very quickly how much it grew in just a month. I was like, well, let's make a goal. Let's do 2,000 meals. That would be like my ultimate goal. Started surpassing that. And then just recently, Tito's Vodka reached out to us and said, we want to do 125 meals to UMass Memorial. And this was, I think, a week or two ago. And I was doing I had my little notebook with all my tallies of like how many like meals we did. And it put us over 3,000 meals since the start of the pandemic, and less than a year that we were able to donate to first responders and, the healthcare world.
Dude, that's the coolest thing.
Thank you.
I always
really
felt
awesome.
that you have to support the community that supports you. And,
Sure.
It's business-wise, it made a lot of sense because you bring in new customers, they try something and, chances are they're going to like it. I mean, we've been cooking pasta and, roasted chicken for 60 years. I think we know how to put that out by now. But it was just, it was good because now people got to try our food. People didn't know about us, but hey, here's this restaurant that's, during the pandemic, still reaching out, still trying to get back because, now I see it like after this whole like year, and now things are starting to alleviate. Like I see a lot of new customers coming in, and a bunch of them have pulled me aside and said, I had gotten one of those meals on the 2-year anniversary, or I work at this nursing home or this rehab center. And, we were just so grateful for what you did. We want to come back and support you. And that to me, it was a real like circle of life moment,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I was humbled by that fact. I didn't do this to expect anything in return. The community has been so great to me and so supportive of me. I'm like, this is something that I have to do for them.
I feel like the right thing to do.
I love how people have really taken to it, and it's been great. And like I noticed a few other restaurants were starting to do the same thing, and it's awesome. I mean, because we have to give back. I mean, it's just what you have to do.
Yeah.
You're describing what a community is. A community is people that take care of each other and recognize that when somebody's down, we take care of them. And people are going to remember that. You know what I mean? I will always support a restaurant, another business that has gone above and beyond and gone out and helped out somebody else. Like, that's fucking awesome, man. There's just no other ways to describe it. Thank you for doing that for our community.
Thank you.
That's rad. So, okay, I see all the fire patches above you.
Mm-hmm.
How did that start? Because I've heard stories of like people being there. I mean, I know you guys must have just opened when was it 2 years ago that oh my God, I can't remember his name.
Menard.
Yeah. Firefighter who passed away, who's like, they had the funeral over on Temple Street.
Oh, Roy.
Was that Roy. Yeah.
Roy. Jason Menard was the second one.
Okay. Yeah. I just remember seeing photos of like everybody lined up in front of your restaurant. That was like the shot for some reason that I saw the most. And it was so cool because a lot of those guys would come into the dive and like, obviously we have drastically, like, it's a different vibe in there. The beer coming from, firefighters are coming from all over the country and, kind of all over the world and coming in and looking for certain things and like, or food. And we didn't have it. And I remember they would go down and then they'd come back and like some of them didn't have their patches on anymore. And like, we just gave them this place Bucks. And I was like, dude, I fucking love Bucks. But it was like the number one thing people talked about was going down to Bucks.
So Chelmsford was the first one to put their patch up. And then from that point, you see that. I got to get better with this. There we go. So Chelmsford was the first one to patch up. And then before you know it, people just started going.
That's so cool.
Started going more. My favorite patch is actually coming up right here because the guy was so impatient. He just said, you know what? We're just going to rip it right off. And that's so Everett. So it absolutely worked. And before we knew it, we started getting patches from all over Massachusetts, patches from all over, different states, all over different parts of the U.S. And then it just continued on from there. And, I have customers that come in. There's one up here that's actually his old Air Force patch because he was a firefighter in the Air Force back in, I think he said the patch was about 60 years old or something like that. Older gentleman comes in all the time and he just said, when I saw that you were getting all the patches and everything, I went into the basement and I dug this out and I want you to put this up next to Worcester Fire because he's from Worcester.
Yeah.
And like, I was just blown away. I'm like, this is the coolest thing that I've ever gotten. And
that's so sick.
Just seeing everybody, like when they come in and they're just like, oh, that's my town, that's my city, stuff like that. It's a conversation piece. And really just started off of, the Chelmsford Fire guys getting, saying, we want a patch up there. I'm like, okay. So the whole day was everybody that came in, somebody would rip off their patch, cut it off. And, they made sure that we filled up the whole soffit. And I think there's probably like 50 or 60 patches up there now.
Wow.
From all over the place. Like we have some from Los Angeles. We have some, we have one from Hawaii somewhere.
That's mental.
That's so cool.
And then, other firefighters come in and if they notice that theirs isn't up there, they'll make sure they'll mail, like I've had people mail me patches and, just to go up and be part of that. It was a sad occasion, obviously, for what it was, but
for sure,
it was extremely moving. Like when like the picture that you're talking about, somebody was on top of Joseph's Locks and they took the shot, at the front. And it was such a powerful silence. Like there was no noise on the street when, the trucks came past, when everybody was outside. And it was just like, just to see like the brotherhood of the firefighters, it was moving. I was just like blown away by it. And the fact that other towns came in and covered the Worcester routes during, that's unheard of.
It's the coolest, like it's the saddest thing in the whole world. But the way that I've had no experience with, I didn't grow up with like a family member as a firefighter or anything like that. But working at the dives, like unfortunately, I worked for 2 of these things, and you see, like, I've never seen anything like it ever. I was super young when the Worcester 6 happened, and I like very much remember that. But it's so different being that close to it. It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
I just, like I said, I was blown away by the brotherhood. It was just, it didn't matter who they were, where they came from. It was like they all worked every shift together.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely incredible. I still, I'll never forget those days just because of, how close everything was on such like a sad point that everybody like built each other up and, moved forward. It was amazing.
Yeah. I remember like one of the lighter moments of those things is, those guys like to party and they would come in with like, they'd literally walk in with like a Bud Light or like a full beer. And I was like, what the fuck? And like, as somebody who's working a bar, like you can't bring outside liquor in. Yeah. And I remember watching them walk in and, not going to drop any names, but there was some like people who work with the city who happened to be in the bar. And I like looked over at them and they looked at me and all I heard from the corner was just put it in a glass. And I was like, okay. And we just let them drink whatever they wanted. Even if they brought it in, we'd pour it into a glass for them and just get rid of the can or whatever it was. And even, I mean, they still would buy stuff too. They just wanted to finish the thing that they drank on their way in. And I was like, this is unbelievable.
The thing that blew me away was it wasn't like just opening, like ordering one beer at a time. Like it was like, I'll have one. They're coming up and they're ordering, oh yeah, we need 24 Bud Lights, we need Mick Ultras. And I'm like, okay.
Here's the box.
My hands were so like beat up at the end of the day from opening the damn bottle. I'm like, Jesus, come on.
Yep. It was wild.
That's so the community though. And you, Rick, you said that you never had a family member. My godfather was a firefighter down in Connecticut. He was a assistant chief and he passed away later in his life. But when he died, I don't really know him. I didn't really spend a lot of time with him. But when we went to his wake, there was 2 firefighters that stood guard over his body at all times. And like, we didn't know these people, but they, because of his service, decided that he deserved this. So the entire 6 hours, my grandmother, this is her brother. It was so fucking moving to have these dudes, because that's the community. That's the mentality they build in, that they're all family. You brought it up. Like they treat everyone like their family. And that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's
so we should let them drink a beer and they risk themselves. They want to go out. Yeah. Okay. Finish that beer. Here's a glass. Just be smart.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who's going to say anything at that point?
Right.
They're the ones that would actually be enforcing this.
Exactly.
That's also true. So you keep bringing up how awesome that street is where you're located. Or how pumped are you that the ball field's coming in?
I am beyond ecstatic that this is, finally happening. I mean, like obviously hearing the news of everything going, and then we're all excited, and then March 16th hit, and it was like, nope, don't get too excited. And I was like, within the past couple of weeks, like I was starting to get nervous, like, oh, this is great. Like the ball field's ready to go. It's beautiful. Now can we get people in there? And then, thankfully they made the announcement that, March 22nd or whatever date is a 12% capacity, but honestly, it's better than nothing. Like,
for sure.
Sit there and play the whole season and not have any fans. And I'm like, well, that's not what I was kind of hoping for.
No.
We were hoping for hungry people, hungry, thirsty people.
So, I mean, I know like right now they're saying 12%, but I think the opening date is mid-April. So it's by then I'm sure it's going to be raised up, and, those numbers, as the numbers for the cases continue to decline, obviously, we'll start seeing like more of the attendance and, the capacity restrictions start to be lifted. I think it was a big thing that the restaurants have finally lifted on the capacity. Obviously you still have to do the 6-foot distancing and everything, but I think that it's, definitely moving forward in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, working in the, bartending industry and stuff forever, watching what you guys have had to go through for the last year plus almost has been a nightmare.
Yeah.
So
it was definitely not the greatest, but if anything, I feel that, it kind of became survival of the fittest, I think. And I feel that a lot of people got to learn a lot about themselves. I know I did. Like, can we make this into how can we do it so it's extremely simple and just make this work on a small, such a reduced scale, and just sitting there and grinding it out. And in the back of my mind, knowing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And having said that, it's, if we could survive this,
survive anything.
Realistically, there's nothing else that can. I mean, this is the worst that could possibly happen.
Trial by fire.
No manual. There was nothing. And I remember sitting there talking with my grandfather and everything the other day, and he's like, "How the hell did you figure all this out?" And nobody's had to deal with a pandemic to this extent, with being forced to shut down, and it's like, how did you do it? And I'm like, oh, honestly, Pop, I don't know. I just kind of winged it. I mean, there was no instructions as to what you had to do or how to get it done. And I'm just like, well, I guess we figure it out on our own.
Yeah.
Identify opportunities and take risks.
Exactly.
But shit, you're doing it all the right way. You identified ways. You said it yourself. You didn't do takeout before, so you changed up your menu and made a takeout focused menu. That's being fucking resourceful. You then donated money toward the community. That's continuing to be resourceful, and it's going to pay dividends. That's what a lot of these restaurants didn't do, where they just became super insular, and unfortunately they didn't last. And it sucks. It sucks that we lost so many people. But I also think that there's now a whole new set of opportunity coming out the other side of this, where we have a bunch of turnkey restaurant spaces here in the city that could potentially provide opportunity to somebody that hasn't been represented, which is super fucking cool.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, I'm sure you saw at some point, but Kate from Wormtown was sick or something, and somebody brought her a care package. And I was like, I'm so jealous, because it was beers, and it was just all food from Bucks. And she was like, dude, I'm so fucking happy right now.
I've known that the Mastro family my whole life, because they're from
Chicago.
Really? So I've known Katie, for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
She's just such a good person. And when I found out that she was sick, and she lives down the street from here, so I was like, all right, well, her favorite thing is corn chowder. I don't know how, where it goes, but she'll eat more corn chowder anyway. So I made sure that I packaged that up and threw in a couple of beers. I was like, all right, well, here's a little care package, get better soon so we can see you down here.
That's awesome.
But yeah, she got a kick out of it.
Hell yeah. She's the best. She's one of the people I miss from bartending, because I saw her, I don't know, at least once a week, sometimes more. Either I'm stopping there, or she was always coming to the dive after they closed and stuff. So
yeah.
So cool. That's awesome, man.
It's the little things.
Exactly. I mean, it goes a very long way. Hell yeah.
Yep.
So what's, just kind of looking forward, what's to be expected from Bucks this summer? Anything that people should look out for?
Well, we're aiming to bring back obviously right now we're Thursday through Sunday. March 16th actually marks that 1 year. So I'm going to bring back Tuesday, Wednesday, because everybody's been asking me for Taco Tuesday, and it's just making sure that we have the staff to do it, and so that way we don't start running around with our heads cut off and try to make it work. So March 16th we'll be bringing back Tuesday, Wednesday, and we're going to probably remain closed on Mondays, just because after looking at the ball field schedule and everything, they don't have any games on Monday. So I'd rather give the whole place just a day, just to not be in here, give the staff a day, just to recuperate after, what I'm anticipating this ball field to do is going to be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Hopefully it does.
I think it's going to get back there. It's slowly but surely. We're going to pick back up and get back to normal, hopefully.
There you go. Hell yeah. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I haven't sat at a bar at all during the pandemic. So like, I cannot wait to just sit at a bar and drink a beer that I didn't pour myself, or like a drink that I didn't make myself. Because I haven't done that in an extremely, extremely long time, which is not something that I've ever done. So
I think everybody's ready for it.
Yeah, it'll be great.
It's getting time where, all right, we've been at this for a year now. Like, let's get back to normal. Let's go and, like you said, just like such a simple thing, like just sitting at a bar, ordering a drink, like stuff that we had almost taken for granted before. And now it's like, that's the only thing that everybody wants to do.
Yeah. It's the smallest, it's not the smallest thing, but it feels like the smallest thing because it's such an afterthought. Like, yeah, I'm just going to grab a beer. But now you're like, I can't fucking wait to just have a beer that somebody else poured for me and like have a conversation with a bartender again. It'd be so sick.
Run into a stranger at a public place.
Yeah.
Yeah, legit. That's all I want, is to have a conversation with anybody.
We'll get there.
Well, Nick, how do people find Bucks on the internet or on social media?
You can follow my handle at Bucks Worcester. We're on Instagram and Facebook. My website is terrible. I'm working on that now. So that will hopefully be, look like what by a 5-year-old. That might even be an improvement. I don't know. I put it together.
Your words.
Oh my God, I wouldn't want to visit this thing. That's why I push everybody to Instagram, because at least that's something that I can control and it's fun, But yeah, that's the best way to follow us. We always post the daily specials and everything. And then any like events that we're going to hopefully start doing, because I want to start bringing back the tap takeovers and, allowing like the breweries and the owners and the actual brewers to come in and introduce themselves to people. Obviously everybody's a little nervous now, but before the pandemic, we had started doing that. And it was cool because people would come in and they actually get to see the guy that made the beer that you're holding. Like that's like, I think that's, it's something different.
Oh, for sure.
Once we start getting that back up, I'm hoping within a couple of months to start doing that again and get more like events like that. Maybe even like whiskey tastings and everything, try to get more people out, just because everybody's going to want to go out now. And it's like, let's provide something that's, fun and unique that we didn't have before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those will all be obviously posted on Facebook and Instagram, and, definitely keep people up to date with all the events that are going on.
Well,
cool.
I cannot wait to come down, sit at the bar and have a burger. Potentially maybe even go to a baseball game, but we'll see.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to fucking go to a baseball game.
It's just, and it's right within reach. Like I'm looking at the ball. Light.
Yeah, those damn
right
lights.
In the middle of the bar. Like, come on, let's use this damn thing.
Right? It's gonna be so sick.
Oh, I can't wait.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well, it has been a pleasure to talk to you, Nick. Thank you very much, and I can't wait to see you down at the bar.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me. Yeah, we'll definitely have to do this again. Next time we'll do it at the bar, and we'll be looking at each other. And we'll be able to actually have a few of these beers and some whiskeys. Might for a little bit of slurring at the end, but that's fine. We'll get through it.
The listeners will be.
It's Seltzer Time, man.
Exactly.
Right.
It's not something they haven't heard, especially on my end, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to plan that once we start getting back to normal. And I appreciate you guys taking the time, this early morning to just sit down and just chat. It's just nice being able to. Hey, was having the conversation at the bar,
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. This is the conversation at the bar. Fuck yeah.
Took
me a year to get here. Dude, thank you so much again for coming on and just for everything that, you guys do and taking care of the community and the service industry and everybody like that. It's really is fucking amazing. So thank you so much.
I appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
Yo, have you gotten to go to Bucks since having that conversation with Nick?
So no, it's not.
Me neither. I got to because I'm freaking starving.
Yeah, this week for sure. It's definitely happening. Friday night, I'm getting fish and chips. I don't care what's going on in the world. The past Friday, I tried I wanted to get it, but we didn't really plan outside of getting bucks. And so I called, and I don't really know exactly like what happened, but the rattlesnake mac and cheese, which is like Naomi's jam, is no longer a thing. They have like a regular mac and cheese. So I was like, oh, cool. Like, I'll get that. Can I just get no bacon? And the woman on the phone was like, oh, there's bacon like in the cheese sauce or something. So she's like, I can like not put extra bacon on top. And I'm like, well, no, I can't have it in the cheese sauce either. Like my girlfriend's a vegetarian. So we went with something else. Didn't do bucks because I like kind of panicked because I was like, I don't know. And I was so hungry that I couldn't really focus on anything.
Yeah, it was like the panic moves.
Oh, I was hangry. It was like a whole thing. I was like leaving work like so pumped for fish and chips, and it's all I talked about all day. I still could have got those, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna like leave her hanging, whatever. So
what a nice guy.
Yeah, but Bucks is definitely gonna happen this week, no matter what. I'm pretty excited about it.
Mad respect.
Yeah.
It was awesome to hear all the stuff that they're doing. You know, a constant theme on this show is about community and about crafting the kind of city that we want to be a part of. And it's spots like that, local dedicated spots that I want to just support. And I love seeing them thrive and flourish.
Yeah, same. I mean, Nick's literally like the nicest human being in the world. So I couldn't be happier for like him and his entire staff, and his whole team is awesome. Their food's great. He kills it with the draft list, the whiskey lineup. Like he's doing, you know, like he said, like the things he likes, he's now showing you them. And then I think that's awesome. I hope that they're just busy as hell all summer long. It's just ridiculous. Like I want to wait 3 hours for my fish and chips. Not really. I'm hungry, but like I want it to be like that. I'm stoked for him. It's great.
Yeah, same. So thanks again. And it's that time. Take it away, Rockwell. Big shout out to Rockwell, who had to lose a friend this past week. We'll miss you, Sadie, the best four-legged pupper ever. Oh, she was a big pain in the ass, and she was old. It was her time, unfortunately, but
that sucks.
Forever remembered. It's always hard to say goodbye to those friends. So
yeah, that's never an easy thing.
Oh, it's never easy. Anyway, stoking and a poking. Let's start with some pokes that I'm sure y'all have heard about already. And I'm going to take a different stance, or probably a stance like a lot of other people. If you're pissed off about Dr. Seuss canceling books, if you're pissed off about the potato head bullshit, I would argue that you are spending too much time concentrating on the wrong thing. There are so many other, like, way more important things going on, but it feels like you just want to ignore all that and get really upset about stuff that kind of doesn't matter. Specifically, the Dr. Seuss one really gets my fucking gut, because as a creator, and it's no longer his property because he's no longer with us, but his team still now owns the rights to that property. So it is their decision to decide what gets released, how it gets released. And it was their decision to take a look at not the entire catalog, not his entire work, not put into question the validity or the quality of his creations, but the very simple choices he made in 6 publications that up until last week or 2 weeks ago, nobody fucking knew.
Yeah, I've never heard of any of those titles at all. And I know that most people haven't. That's the part that blew my mind, was all these kids, all these like 35-year-olds were like, they're canceling Dr. Seuss. It's like, first of all, bro, when's the last time you even read a Dr. Seuss book? Probably when you were like 6. And unless you have a kid, you probably haven't read it since then. Also, you still have never read those 6 books. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, nobody has. Nobody's read them.
Or if they
There's
have
54 other titles that you can go and read. And you're also still going to stick to like Cat and Hat, Green Eggs and Ham.
And that's my point. If you ask somebody, what you name a Dr. Seuss book, those 6 books aren't coming up in the top.
Hell no. Yeah. So
people getting pissed off. It doesn't make sense to me. It just seems, and nobody canceled it. Nobody fucking canceled it. Nobody canceled it. They, as a company.
You know why? Because nobody's ever read those 6 books. They didn't even know how bad they were.
And this sort of thing happens all the time. It's like as we as a society progress and have a new set of values and a new set of understanding, we take it back and take a look at history, and we're like, hey, maybe we weren't doing the things all the best. Song of the South is not available from fucking Disney anymore because of the exact same reasons. And there's a reason that they're rebranding what Splash Mountain is. As a duda, I'm upset because I liked going on Splash Mountain and go zippity doo dah. Hey, that's me. But I'm okay with them getting rid of it because it's fucking racist as shit.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's
getting
insane.
upset. Check your morals. Check your values. Take a real hard look at what you're getting upset about. And then hit me up.
The same people who are getting all upset about, like, you know, cartoons and toys and, you know, children's books that are also cartoons are the same people who are like, when we're like, hey, like, you know, what'd be cool? I don't know, equal rights, stop shooting black people for no reason. I don't know, stop being a piece of garbage to anybody who's not a white man. They're like, get over it. You guys are too sensitive. Ugh.
Yeah, white privilege doesn't exist.
Yeah. And then like, oh, whatever. I hate them all. I hate it.
So I'm stoked about, well, I'm not stoked that nobody fucking told me first and foremost, because I think this thing has been around for a bit and nobody told me. And I feel a little betrayed and I'm upset because I now want every single one of my meals out of a Tacosaurus Rex. You may ask yourself, what is a Tacosaurus Rex? Well, friend, it is a dinosaur that has a goddamn taco slot in its back. And what else could you fit in there? Fucking it's limitless. Waffles in, sandwiches, you betcha. Soup, I don't know. I'm going to try it. Like, it's going to be awesome. I told Sarah last night that I'm throwing away all of our plates and we're eating everything out of dinosaurs from here on out.
I mean, I'd support that move for sure.
Do you think restaurants would be upset if I brought my own dinosaur and be like, can
I
I
was
have
just
the chef?
I was about to say, like, Nick mentioned how now that, like, you know, restrictions are getting eased and the weather's getting nice and all that, he might bring back Taco Tuesdays at Bucks. And I feel like you have to bring these dinosaurs and let's run some tacos through them. Like, let's do this.
Yeah, let's make this happen. I saw it as a Nachosaurus Rex or a Nacho something or other, and it was like chips. A Nachosaurus. It was like a Stegosaurus. Anyway, the Tacosaurus Rex is the best. There's a whole plethora. I mean, there's a dinosaur to fit your culinary desire. So
I'm into it.
They don't have to be extinct. They can be our food delivery devices.
Exactly.
What do you got for the people?
All right. So my poke is on the whole, like, old Worcester's better than new Worcester thing that's been happening. It's really stupid. You can have both. Isn't that kind of crazy? Like, you can continue to support places that have been around forever that literally nobody fucking talked about until recently. You also can support new places. Like, it is actually that easy. It's amazing. I don't get it. I don't know why there has to be this, like, clear divide. Also, if you love these places before, like, why start your own place? Like, why, if we're not allowed to go anywhere new, why should we go to your place? I just don't understand. I think it's kind of ridiculous.
It's the same scene queens that get pissed off that, like, oh, I only like that band when they played a room with 4 other people. Fuck them for wanting to get up and have more fans.
Like, oh crap, something new happened? No thanks. It's like, okay, that's the most, like, weird hipster thing I've ever heard in my life. It's very
contrarians, man.
Very lame. Very lame. So yeah, probably gonna start a movement on that, you know, making fun of anything Old Worcester. Old Worcester is pretty much only Burger King and Bud Light. Like, if you went out in Worcester prior to
an Applebee's
2005 or something, yeah, exactly. It was all like, okay, cool, I'm gonna drink this like neon blue cocktail that has 6 cherries in it that are very neon red, which is gross. Or I'm gonna drink a very gross domestic beer. Now you actually have options.
And the same people who brought these options to the city are the ones that are like, dude, fuck New Worcester. It's like, well, what do you mean?
New Worcester.
Everything's New Worcester. Like, what do you mean? You want to live in fucking 1980 Worcester? No, you don't. Nobody does.
Every day we get a new day is a new Worcester.
Yeah, seriously.
Again, let's fucking take a hard look at the things that aren't going so well. Why do we have to support a place just because it's been there for a while if their service offerings doesn't suit the needs of the people anymore?
Yeah, or also, I don't know, there's like 7 fucking days in a week, man. You can support other places. It's okay for there to be something new because they're the same.
Variety is the spice of life.
Exactly. They're the same people, again, who are like, oh, yeah, this place was cool until everybody else showed up because now I have to wait 45 minutes to get something. It's like, so go somewhere else.
Am I bummed that Frankie's takes 2 hours to get a pizza or that they might sell out? Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm bummed. I thought I was going to be able to have the new fucking spot. But they're brand fucking new and they're figuring this shit out and a whole bunch of people get excited about new spots. It'll probably mellow out. And when it does, hopefully they get their systems in place and it doesn't take 2 hours. Or maybe they'll just continue selling out. Lazy
I also
Susan.
exactly. I love the fact that like Frankie's, I haven't had their pizza yet. I've heard nothing but good things. I genuinely cannot wait to try it. But I love the fact that he opened a pizza place on fucking Providence Street. And there's people who are like, oh, it's New Worcester. It's like, have you ever been on fucking Providence Street?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? It
the
didn't
spot
open
that he took.
It didn't open, on Main Street. Like, what are you talking about? It's ridiculous.
It's a neighborhood pizza shop.
Yes.
And
it is.
It's within walking distance from my house. And I know that area pretty well. And that spot, I'm fucking thankful that anything successful, anything locally minded has gone into that spot.
Yeah.
And it isn't just some carbon copy pizza place that uses the same Cisco ingredients as everybody else.
Yeah, it's crazy. And even if he does, who cares? He's not from Worcester. Okay. Who the fuck is? Like, who is anymore? Who is? I don't understand why that matters. Like, what are you talking about? It's ridiculous. I am stoked, however, on 2 people who are not from Worcester, luckily. No. So 2 of my like favorite artists of all time separately are Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars. Everything either one of them has ever put out, I'm really into. Bruno, like, there's a lot of Bruno Mars songs I don't like, but his last record, 24 Karat? I think it's 24 Karat. That one is perfect. I literally listened to that record only for 6 months. Like, I put the CD in my car and it's all I listened to. I did not listen to anything else. When I was at work, I would start my day by listening to that record. It's perfect. So him and Anderson .Paak toured together 3 or 4 years ago and started to like work on some stuff together. Their styles really do make sense when you actually pay attention to their music. And they are putting out an entire record collaborative.
Wow, I didn't know that. It's
an entire record. They're doing it under the name. So it's like Anderson .Paak, Bruno Mars, and Silk Sonic. That's kind of like their band name. It's such a good idea. Like they're both so cool. Like the words that they say are cool. The way they dress is cool. The way their music styles are just cool. Like everything is sexy and fucking cool. I couldn't be more happy.
I wonder if it's gonna have some. It's gotta have some new Wedding Bammer on there, because that's like
most like
Bruno Mars. That's where he's like the Michael Jackson of our time at a certain degree, where he's just crushing hit after hit after hit.
And he's like overflowing with talent, like dancing. He plays every instrument. Like it's unbelievable. It's absolutely
Anderson .Paak's the same way, but Anderson .Paak also comes with. He's not as like. It's not as polished. Universally. But I like that about him. He's not as universally friendly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like your fucking mom, like our moms aren't listening to Anderson .Paak, but our moms love Bruno Mars. Like, and that's sick. Like that's like, it's incredible.
So giving a little bit of Paak's rawness to, I think that project's going to sound fucking funky and it's going to sound fun as hell. I didn't know about it. I'm excited to hear it.
The first song they released the first song on Friday. It's freaking awesome. I probably listened to it like 60 times this weekend. It's really, really
Party
really
jam?
good.
Is it a party jam?
Yes and no. It's
Okay.
It's cool. It's the only way you can describe it. Everything they do is cool. It's so fucking good. Everything about it's cool. It's just the video is great. Bruno has a brand deal with Lacoste. You know the shirts with the little alligator?
Yeah.
So like with them, and they did all this like 70s soul inspired stuff that all came out on Friday as well. It's not available online yet. It's only available in like Lacoste retail spots. But like that's a whole thing. It's Ricky. What the hell is his name? It's like Ricky something. There was a phone number you can call, and you can leave a message for him. It's just the whole rollout of this has been really, really interesting. And like, of course, that's all I care about. But I finally have an entire rollout of something that I genuinely love. And I'm genuinely excited. I don't get excited for music anymore. I'm pumped when I hear new things, but I don't anxiously wait for this new record to drop. That's gone. That's I'm 100%. I cannot wait for this to come out. I don't even actually know if they announced a release date. Everything about it is just so sweet. They did an interview.
This doesn't sound the way. I started listening to it a little bit while you were just talking right there. This doesn't sound the way I thought it would. It's good. It's buttery. I was expecting a little more up tempo, and
you'll get those. I mean, those songs.
I'm sure it's on there.
But yeah, I don't know. But
to come out swinging with this jam is an interesting choice. I am still pumped to hear more from this act.
Yeah, I'm very excited. But yeah, no, it's been great. The interview. I mean, they did a couple of interviews over the weekend on Friday that came out, and those were all really cool. Just the way they talk and deliver this is nobody's doing that. Nobody at all is on that level. And yeah, I can't say enough.
It almost sounds like they recorded this on analog equipment, which
right.
That's true. That's there's something classic cool about that, which means then to really get the full appreciation of it, you have to listen to it on vinyl. But neither here nor there.
Cannot wait for this fucking thing to drop on. It's I genuinely cannot wait. I love everything these two guys did. So yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to listen to all year when it comes out.
Awesome.
That's my stoke.
All right, people. I think you did it. I think you made it through another hour and a half or whatever long this ended up being. And we love you and you're the best. Find us at SeltzerTime.com. Find me at Hustle and Work, WRC, Hunchback Travis, Hunchback Graphics, Travis Duda. Just find me. I want to be friends with you.
You can find me at DickChuck77, every platform. Seltzer Time Official, every platform. We're on Twitter. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're everywhere. I haven't really been posting on this Seltzer Time Facebook because I don't really care about it, but I should and I will, and I'll get better at it. That's it. Go buy new merch and go listen to funky ass music.
Yeah.
And support New Worcester, because you know what? Why the fuck not?
Just support Worcester. We're happy with that. See y'all next week.